Okay, once again, we're working with Blender 2.61, and although this tutorial should be pretty similar if you're working with 2.5 or any other 2.6. This is the third part in a series, so to be sure to watch the first two. There should be links in the description if there aren't annotations in this video. And basically today, we're not going to be working in the 3D view. We're going to be working in the video editor that's built into Blender, and we're going to take the clips we created last time and just basically add some transitions, some fade transitions to them. So let's get started. First things first, when you're working with the video editor in Blender, or really any project, but especially the video editor, make sure to avoid headaches down the line that you set up your parameters for your project first. Like here, I'm going to set this to HD TV 1080p. And I want it to be 30 frames a second. That's one of the most important parts there, because the video editor, most video editors, let's say you have a video that's 15 frames a second, but your project's 30, it will still play at regular speed. With Blender, Blender's video editor is designed for short little clips, and if you import a video, if your videos are 15 frames a second and you make your project 30 frames and you import them, they're going to play really fast. Or is it really slow? Let me think. Yeah, they're going to play really fast, like double speed. And the audio will be all off. Not that we're really working with audio this time, so it's not a huge deal, but set your parameters first. It will help. I'm also gonna, since I know I'm gonna be saving it as Xvid, obviously save whatever format you want. I'm setting that preset to Xvid and this preset to Xvid. And now I'm gonna come up here and click here and go down to Video Editor. Excuse me. And now we're in the Video Editor. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to say Add, Movie. I'm going to go to where we saved our 5 little video clips earlier, and I'm just going to drag and select all of them and click Add Movie. And there we go, it added it in. I don't know how it decides where it's going to drop it. Used to be it would follow your cursor until you place them somewhere. But I'm going to hit A few times till I make sure everything's selected. And the keys inside the video editor are pretty much the same as you would in the 3D view. A to select all, G to grab, and then I'm going to move them over here. And I'm just going to get that till I see the first frame there. You can zoom in to see a little bit closer. If you're one frame off, it's not a big deal, but you want to make sure you're starting there. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to grab one clip at a time and just overlap them a little bit, like so. Make sure I do all 5. And now I can click over here at the end, just past the last video, left click, and right here I can see I'm at frame 664. So let's make our project 660 frames, just to make things round. It doesn't really matter because we're going to be black at that point. Next, I'm going to say Add, Effect, Color. And by default, it adds a black color, but you can change the color over here if you want, but black is what I want. I'm going to grab that, throw it up here at the beginning of the video, and I'm going to Shift-D it to clone it, and I'm going to drag one over here and put one at the end there. Now we're going to add the fade effect. And you want to grab in the order that you want it to fade from. So that's a little confusing. It's unlike other video editors where if I was to add a video effect from this one to this one or this one to this one, it would just know that this is the second video and it's going to fade from this one to this one. Blender doesn't work that way. You got to select them in the order that you want the fade to happen. So example, I want to go from black to the first clip. I'm going to right click the first clip, shift click the second clip. I'm sorry, Control. What am I thinking here? Is Shift? Oh, it is Shift. Okay, just the black, it's hard to tell when it's selected. So that one, Shift click this one, and then we're going to say Add Effect Gamma Cross. And you can see it added a little fade effect there. Choose the first clip, second clip, Shift select it, add Gamma Cross. This one to this one, add Gamma Cross. This one to this one, add Gamma Cross. Doing this could be a little tedious if you have 100 different clips. As I said, You can also create a little script to automate this, which is something I'll probably do a video on in the future. That would basically do a 1-second fade for each one. Right here, our fades are all going to be different lengths too, because I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not actually measuring them out. And now we're pretty much done. If I click back here and click Alt-A, it'll start playing our little preview here. You will notice that when it gets to the transitions, it slows down the preview just slightly. But once it's rendered out, you won't have that problem. So you see right there, it slowed down a little bit. But basically, at this point, we can render this out. So I'm just going to click here and split this view. And I'm going to change this to our properties window. And here we are in our render window, which we've already set pretty much everything but where we want to render output. I'm just going to render this out to my temp folder. Obviously, if this is a final project, you don't want to render out to your temp folder, because when you restart your computer, it's going to magically disappear. But I'll just call this slideshow.avi, and I'll click animate. And there you go, it's animating it out. Definitely a lot faster than rendering the original image in 3D view. It's less than a second a frame. And once again, we have 660 frames to go through, and we're already at 150 frames now. There, okay, passed it, okay. And that's it. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and I hope you found this whole series useful. Once again, you know, if you're just doing home videos, this might be a little overkill for you, being able to have all these options. I don't think it's overkill to use Blender for this, but most people doing home videos just want a simple preset, which is what we kind of created in the second tutorial, although it's not 100% complete with the fades and everything. But basically, I'm showing you how to create your own presets, how to create stuff from scratch rather than using someone else's presets. I have seen, and our video's done, but let me talk here for a second. I have had, once again, people talk to me about how doing stuff like this in Blender is overkill. I disagree. I think this is exactly what Blender's for. People think it's overkill, and sometimes they complain about certain programs because it's not just a one-click and it does everything for you, which is great in some situations. But if you're truly an artist and you're truly working on a project, you probably want a little bit more control. There have been many, many times, and partially this is a compliment, partially it's not a compliment. I've seen a lot of really nice video slideshows or people with DVDs with really nice menus, and that they made on Mac computers. And no offense if you use a Mac, that's great. They look fabulous, but they all look the same. I've seen the same like 5 little presets over and over and over again. Now, you know, what we're creating here is rather simple, but you can do a lot of stuff with Blender and create your own little things. Like I used to do wedding videos. I might start doing them again here in the future. And I would create my own presets. So each one of my videos, wedding videos, had similar stuff in it because I was using the same presets, but they were my similar stuff, not somebody else's. And that's what my tutorials are about, is doing stuff yourself. Not bad to rely on others and get other people's help and input, but every once in a while you want to be able to depend on yourself and get things done yourself. Open source is kind of about that. It's not about doing necessarily everything from the ground up yourself, but wanting to do something yourself, but allowing others to help, I guess is a good way to say it. So I encourage you, if you want to be creative, play with this. Once again, you know, we're doing something very simple here, but I've also done stuff where it looks like photos on a table with Blender. And then, you know, once I create the one animation, from beginning to end, all I have to do is drag and drop some new images into a folder or write a script that copies them over, and I can create a brand new video with the same effect that I actually created. But once I spend the time once, it only takes me a few minutes to render out the same thing again for another project. So once again, everyone has their own projects, their own things they're trying to accomplish, and I hope that my videos help you accomplish your goals. So now that I've talked for a bit, and a lot of you probably have either stopped listening or skipped over me babbling, here is what our final project looks like. Also, we didn't add any music in here, but you could have dragged, when you click, let me real quick here, you can say add sound, and you can import an audio file to add music to this, and also fade that in and out up here with the curve editor. But that's not really the basis of this tutorial. Once again, you also didn't even have to use this Blender for the last part. You could have used something like Kden Live, which if you're going to try to sync it to music would probably be a little more better of an option. Once again, different goals, different tools. Thanks for watching. Please visit filmsbychris.com. That's Chris with a K. Check out the links in the description. And I hope that you have a great day. Here is our final render.